They told you history began with crude hunter-gatherers, that our story slowly, painstakingly emerged from the dirt and the caves. That's a lie. The truth, meticulously buried beneath layers of ice and academic dogma, speaks of something far grander. An empire, not just ancient but pre-ancient. A global civilization that wielded a technology we can barely comprehend today. And then, they vanished. Wiped from the earth in a single catastrophic instant, leaving only faint whispers, impossible clues, and a history that should shatter everything you thought you knew. This isn't a theory, this is the forgotten chapter, the one they tried to erase. And by the end of this journey, your perception of humanity's past will be irrevocably changed. Look closely at the Andes, not at the familiar Inca walls but at structures like Puma Punku. Stone blocks, weighing hundreds of tons, cut with a precision that defies Bronze Age tools. Interlocking joints so perfect you can't slide a razor blade between them. How? Mainstream archaeology mumbles about skilled craftsmen, but this isn't craftsmanship. This is machinery. This is a level of engineering that screams of a lost science. And it's not isolated. Across the Pacific, off the coast of Japan, lies Yonaguni, a monumental structure, submerged. Terraces, stairs, perfectly straight edges. A natural formation, or the remnants of a city swallowed by the waves long before any recorded flood. These aren't just isolated anomalies, these are breadcrumbs, global breadcrumbs. The myths of a golden age where gods brought knowledge to humanity, knowledge of agriculture, astronomy, architecture. From Egyptian records speaking of pre-dynastic kings with impossible lifespans, to Hindu Vedas describing Vimanas, flying machines, and cataclysmic wars that shattered worlds. What if these weren't allegories, but historical accounts of a world far more sophisticated than our textbooks dare to suggest? The secret, we believe, wasn't just where they built, but how. Imagine a technology that manipulated sound waves to levitate colossal stones, or harnessed the Earth's natural energy grid to power entire cities. A resonant frequency, a lost understanding of vibration, perhaps even a forgotten science of electromagnetism. These weren't primitive people, they were the masters of a different kind of physics. A physics that enabled them to sculpt mountains and raise temples with an ease we can only dream of. But here's where the narrative they want you to believe completely unravels. We're told this advanced civilization, if it ever existed, simply faded. Faded? With such colossal achievements? That's not how empires disappear. Empires are erased. The disappearance wasn't gradual, it was instant, violent. And it holds the key to why we find their remnants scattered, broken, and buried under oceans and ice. The year was approximately 12,800 BCE. The Earth was plunged into a sudden, inexplicable mini-ice age, lasting over 1,000 years. Lakes as large as continents vanished, deserts bloomed, then withered. And across the globe, megafauna, like the mighty woolly mammoths, were flash-frozen, some with undigested food in their stomachs, indicating an instantaneous death in extreme cold. What caused this? The scientific consensus is slowly shifting towards one terrifying answer: the Younger Dryas impact, a comet, or a cluster of comets, striking the North American ice sheet. The immediate aftermath? An unholy combination of cataclysmic tsunamis, widespread fires, and an atmospheric dust veil that triggered an instant global freeze. This wasn't just a meteor shower, it was an apocalypse. This wasn't just an ice age, this was a global reset event. An advanced civilization, interconnected and thriving, was not simply forgotten, it was drowned, burned, and then flash-frozen into oblivion. Their cities shattered, their technology buried, their knowledge lost in the chaos. The survivors, if any, were scattered, forced to restart, leaving behind only the most resilient, enigmatic monuments that defy our current historical timeline. The official story is a monument to their ignorance, or perhaps their deliberate suppression of a truth too inconvenient to admit. The files stop there. The archaeological record remains maddeningly silent on the specifics. But the evidence? It screams. It's up to us to listen. It's up to us to connect the dots they tried so hard to scatter. What have you seen? What anomalies have you uncovered in forgotten texts or obscure sites? Share your findings. Share your theories. Because the grand narrative of our past is still being written, and it's up to us, the inquisitors, the truth seekers, to unearth what they buried. The investigation has only just begun.